You step into the tea room, ducking under the low lintel, your samurai armour creaking like a warning. The air's thick with the scent of tatami mats and anticipation, a fragile bubble of peace in a world of clashing steel. Your sword, heavy at your hip, feels like an intruder here, where every gesture is a prayer. The tea master, robes crisp as folded paper, kneels before a kettle, his eyes sharp as a blade's edge. One wrong move, a clumsy step, a rattled cup, and the ritual's harmony shatters like dropping a glass in a silent temple. They say a flawed ceremony invites chaos, as if the gods themselves sip from your cup, judging. The room's a wooden womb, barely wide enough for you and 3 others, all warriors like you, their faces etched with scars and secrets. You kneel, knees grinding into straw, and your hand trembles. Not from battle's adrenaline, but from the weight of this moment. The tea master lifts a bamboo ladle, pouring water with the precision of a sword stroke. Steam curls upward, a ghost escaping the kettle, and you swear it carries the faint tang of iron, as if war's blood lingers even here. You're supposed to focus, to let the world dissolve into the act of tea, but your mind snags on the screams of yesterday's battlefield, the men you cut down. He hands you the cup, a rough ceramic bowl that feels alive, warm as skin. You turn it twice, as taught, aligning its imperfections with some cosmic order. The tea's green froth stares back, bitter as truth. You sip, and it scalds your tongue, a sharp reminder you're still flesh, not stone. The master watches, unblinking, and you wonder if he sees your soul's cracks, the way you flinch at distant hoofbeats. This isn't just tea, it's a high-stakes mindfulness app, medieval style, where one glitch could unravel you. The others sip too, their silence louder than war cries. One, a grizzled veteran, grips his cup like a lifeline, his knuckles white. You've seen him behead enemies without blinking, yet here, his hands shake like a boy's. The tea master nods, approving, and you realise this trembling is the point, to feel, to break, to find something human amid the slaughter. You swallow again, the bitterness grounding you, and for a moment the world shrinks to this room, this cup, this breath. But peace is a lie. Outside, the wind carries the clank of armour, the grunt of men marching to die. Your sword's weight tugs at you, a reminder of the blood you'll spill tomorrow. The tea's warmth fades, leaving only the ache in your knees, the dread in your gut. You set the cup down, careful not to clink, and the master's eyes meet yours, knowing, pitiless. Congrats, you didn't botch the ritual. Pity it won't save you from the next battle. This is the tea ceremony, a dance of precision, a defiance of chaos, where samurai like you chase stillness while the world burns. It's absurd, really, sipping tea as if it could stitch your soul back together. Yet here you are, bowing low, pretending one cup can hold the weight of your sins. Like share, tell us, what's the strangest way you found peace in a storm? The kettle hums, a low, eerie song, and you freeze, caught in its spell. They call it Matsukaze, the wind in the pines, this sound of water boiling in the tea room's heart. To the samurai around you, it's sacred, a whisper from the void, as if the universe itself exhales through the iron spout. You're kneeling again, armour discarded, but your sword close, its presence a cold comfort. The tea master tends the flame, his movements slow, deliberate, like a priest coaxing a god to speak. One misstep, a flame too high, a bubble too loud, and the ritual's balance tips, inviting spirits best left undisturbed. The room's dim, lit only by a paper lantern's flicker, casting shadows that dance like ghosts on the walls. You try to focus on the kettle, but your ears snag on the world outside, a horse's snort, a distant scream. War never sleeps, yet here you are, chasing a sound that promises peace. The Matsukaze grows louder, a soft roar, and you swear it mimics the wind over the hills where you buried your brother last spring. It's not just steam, it's memory, clawing at you, and your chest tightens. This is no ASMR track, it's a medieval glitch, a sound that could unravel you if you listen too long. The tea master adjusts a coal, and the hum shifts deeper now like a chant. The other samurai lean forward, eyes glassy, as if the sound holds answers to questions they dare not ask. One, a young warrior with unscarred hands, breathes too loudly, and the master's glance cuts him silent. Silence is law here, a shield against the chaos beyond these walls. You wonder if the kettle's song is a trick, a Zen trap to make you face yourself. Your hands, stained with blood no river can wash, clench in your lap. The water reaches its peak, a rolling boil that vibrates the air, and the master lifts the kettle with a cloth, pouring with the grace of a heron. The Matsukaze fades, leaving a void that feels heavier than war. You're handed a cup, but your mind's still on that sound, how it seemed to hum your name, your sins. The tea's steam stings your eyes and you blink hard, refusing to let tears fall. Samurai don't cry, not over tea, not over ghosts. Yet the Matsukase lingers in your skull, a reminder that even here in this fragile sanctuary, death's wind is never far. You sip, the tea's bitterness a slap grounding you. The master watches, his face unreadable, but you feel judged, as if the kettle itself knows you're unworthy. Outside, a crow caws, sharp as a blade, and you flinch, nearly spilling. Nice job, warrior, rattled by a bird. The others don't notice, lost in their own silences, their own battles. The Matsukaze is gone now, but its echo haunts you, a sound that's both prayer and warning. This is the tea ceremony's heart, a fleeting sound that holds you hostage, forcing you to listen to what you'd rather forget. It's absurd kneeling here, chasing a kettle's whisper while the world bleeds. Yet you bow, cup empty, and wonder if the pines will sing for you when your time comes. Like, share, tell us, what sound haunts you when the world goes quiet? You crawl through the tea room's entrance, a wooden slot so low it forces you, a samurai, to grovel like a beggar. Your armour scrapes the frame, a clumsy protest against this enforced humility. Inside, the space is a suffocating box, barely 6 feet wide, with tatami mats reeking of damp straw and time. The walls seem to lean in, pressing your shoulders, your sword hilt jabbing your ribs like an impatient ghost. This isn't a room, it's a trap, a Zen mind game disguised as hospitality. One wrong shift and you'll knock over the kettle, ruining the ritual and earning the tea master's silent scorn. The others are already here, 3 warriors crammed knee to knee, their breath heavy in the dim light. You settle, joints creaking, and feel the room's weight, as if the air itself demands submission. The tea master kneels at the brazier, his movements precise, like he's defusing a bomb. The room's design is deliberate, they say, to strip you of pride. Samurai, lords, killers, all forced to bow before the tea. It's like a high-stakes escape room, medieval edition, where the puzzle is your own ego. You try to breathe shallowly, but the walls close tighter in your mind, whispering of battles you can't escape. The lantern's flicker paints shadows that twist like spectres, and you catch a scar-faced samurai flinching, his hand twitching toward his blade. You get it. There's no room to draw a sword here, no space to fight. The tea master pours water, the sound a soft gurgle, but it feels like a countdown. Your chest tightens. You're not claustrophobic, but this room makes you feel buried alive, like the graves you've dug for enemies. The ritual's supposed to center you, yet every creak of the floorboards screams ambush. You wonder if this is the point, to face yourself when there's nowhere to run. He hands you a cup, warm and rough, its weight grounding you for a moment. You turn it, as taught, but your fingers fumble, clumsy in this suffocating space. The tea's steam stings your eyes, and you blink, refusing to show weakness. The others sip in silence, their faces unreadable, but you see their hands, calloused, blood-stained, clutching cups like lifelines. The tea master watches, his gaze a blade, and you realise this cramped sanctuary isn't peace. It's a test. Survive the room, survive yourself. Nice try, Zen masters. Claustrophobia's a lousy therapist. You sip, the tea's bitterness sharp, cutting through the fog of dread. The walls don't move, but they feel alive, judging your every breath. Outside, a horse whinnies, a reminder of the chaos waiting beyond this wooden cage. You set the cup down, careful not to clatter, and meet the master's eyes. He nods, but it's not approval, just acknowledgement you didn't break. Congrats, you didn't lose it in the world's smallest therapy session. This is the tea ceremony's cruel genius, a room that humbles you, strips you bare, and calls it enlightenment. It's absurd crawling into a box to find peace while war rages outside. Yet you bow, sword digging into your side, and wonder if this suffocation is the closest you'll get to salvation. Like, share, tell us, what's the tightest space you've faced your demons in? The tea master slides the cup across the tatami, and you take it, your hand steady despite the war raging in your skull. The tea's green froth swirls, a tiny storm in ceramic, and you lift it to your lips. One sip, and the bitterness hits like a slap, but then something shifts. Your eyes sting, not from steam, but from a memory. Your mother's voice. A village lost to fire. A home you'll never see again. Tears well, unbidden, and you, a samurai who's carved men in half, are crying over tea. The shame burns hotter than the drink, but you can't stop. The tea room's silence is merciless, amplifying every hitch in your breath. The other warriors don't look, but you feel their judgment. Or maybe it's pity. One, a grizzled giant with a notched ear, sips his own cup and you see it, a tear tracing his weathered cheek, glistening like dew. He's killed dozens, maybe hundreds, yet here he sits, undone by a sip of tea. The tea master watches, unperturbed, as if tears are part of the ritual, as expected as the whisk's rhythm. This isn't just tea. It's a medieval therapy session gone viral, exposing wounds no blade can reach. They say the ceremony strips you bare, that Zen demands you face what you bury. You've heard of samurai weeping like this, overwhelmed by nostalgia or the weight of their sins. The tea's taste lingers, sharp and earthy, like grave dirt, and you wonder if it's laced with truth. Your tears fall into the cup, diluting the froth, and you half expect the master to scold you for ruining his art. Instead, he nods, his eyes soft, and you realise this is the point. To break, to feel, to let the tea carry what your sword cannot. Tears in the tea, just another Tuesday in the 14th century Japan. You glance at the young samurai beside you, his face taut, fighting his own tears. He's new to war, his hands unscarred, but his eyes are old, haunted by battles yet to come. The tea master pours again, the kettles hum a low dirge, and you wonder what ghost this boy sees in his cup. Outside, the wind rattles the shoji screens, carrying the faint clang of armour, a reminder that peace is a lie. Your tears dry, leaving salt on your lips, and you set the cup down, careful, precise, as if it could hold your soul together. The ritual continues, but the air's heavier now, thick with unspoken grief. The tea master's hands move like a dancer's, unfazed by the weeping warriors before him. You envy his calm, his ability to see tears as offerings, not weaknesses. Your sword rests at your side, useless against this enemy. Memory, loss, the ache of being human. Nice job, samurai. You survived 100 battles but got KO'd by a cup of tea. This is the tea ceremony's strange alchemy, a drink that unlocks what you've locked away, forcing you to mourn in a room too small to hide. It's absurd crying while the world burns, yet here you are, bowing low, hoping the tea gods forgive your weakness. Like, share. Tell us. What's the strangest thing that's made you break? Your hand steadies the sword at your hip, its weight a familiar anchor, but here, in the tea room's hush, it feels like a stranger. You kneel, watching the tea master wield a bamboo whisk with the same lethal precision you bring to a katana's arc. Each stroke, swift, controlled, churns the tea into froth, a green whirlpool that mirrors the calm before a killing blow. They say the tea ceremony is swordplay without blood, a Zen dance where every gesture cuts through chaos to find stillness. One slip and you dishonour the ritual, as if the tea gods wield blades sharper than yours. The room's a battlefield of silence, the air taut with expectation. The master's whisk moves like your sword in a duel, no hesitation, no waste. You've sliced through armour, felt the jolt of steel meeting bone, yet here your hands tremble as you lift the cup. The ceramic's rough warmth grounds you, but your mind races. Yesterday's clash, the scream of a dying foe, the blood you can't wash off. The tea's steam curls like smoke from a burning village, and you wonder if this ritual is just another fight, one you're losing. It's like a mindfulness app coded by monks where the stakes are your soul. The other samurai watch, their eyes tracking the master's hands, as if his movements hold the secret to surviving tomorrow's war. One, a lean veteran with a scar splitting his brow, grips his cup like a hilt, his knuckles pale. You've seen him cut down 3 men in a single breath, yet here he's transfixed by a whisk's rhythm. The master pours water, the kettles hum a low chant, and you realise the ceremony's precision is your own, the way you hone your blade, the way you time a strike. But swords end lives. This tea is supposed to save yours. Good luck with that, warrior. You sip, the tea's bitterness a slash across your tongue, sharp as truth. It's not just a drink, it's a mirror, reflecting the man you are versus the man you pretend to be. The master's eyes meet yours, unyielding, and you feel exposed, as if he sees every life you've taken. Your sword hand twitches, useless here, where the only enemy is yourself. The room's silence presses down, heavier than armour, and you wonder if Zen is just a prettier word for surrender. Nice try, slicing through your demons with a cup of tea. The ritual continues, the master's whisker blur, each motion a lesson in control. Outside, the wind carries the clank of spears, a reminder that no tea can stop the bloodshed waiting. You set the cup down, precise, silent, and bow, your sword scraping the mat like a warning. The master nods, but his gaze cuts deeper than any blade, as if he knows you'll never master this fight. This is the tea ceremony's paradox, a warrior's precision turned inward, where the sharpest cut is the one you give yourself. It's absurd chasing stillness with a killer's hands, yet here you are, hoping a sip can steady your soul. Like, share, tell us, what's the strangest way you've tried to find control in chaos? The tea master kneels, his robes pooling like ink, every gesture a calculated act under the samurai's watchful eyes. You're one of them, crammed in this stifling tea room, your sword a heavy reminder of the world outside. But the master, he's the one under siege. His hands, steady as stone, lift the ladle, pouring water at an angle so precise it could split a hair. One mistake, a splash, a tilt too sharp, and the ritual collapses, branding him a failure in this sacred farce. It's not just tea, it's a high-wire act, and he's got no net. The room's a pressure cooker, the air thick with steam and scrutiny. The master's face is calm, but his eyes flicker, tracking the kettle's hum, the whisk's arc. They say a tea master's role is to forge harmony, to tame chaos with a cup, but the rules are brutal. The water must boil just so, the tea's froth must crest like a wave, the bowl must be turned exactly twice. You've killed men for less, yet here you sit, awed by a man who battles gravity and heat. This is medieval perfectionism, a Zen TED talk with a body count of pride. He hands you the cup, its warmth seeping into your calloused palms, and you notice his fingers, scarred, not from swords, but from years of wielding ladles over flames. The other samurai sip, their silence a judgment heavier than war cries. One, a grizzled warrior with a limp, narrows his eyes, as if daring the master to falter. You've seen him crush skulls, but here he's just another guest, bound by the ritual's unspoken laws. The master pours again, each motion a defiance of error, and you wonder what keeps him from cracking under this weight. Probably sheer stubbornness, or fear of the tea god's wrath. The tea's bitterness stings, a reminder of the stakes. You sip, watching the master adjust a coal, his hand steady despite the room's oppressive gaze. Outside, a horse's hoofbeats echo, a faint drum of the war waiting to reclaim you. But in here, the master's the true warrior, fighting a battle no blade can win. His every move is a prayer, a plea for perfection, and you realise his burden is heavier than your armour. Nice job, tea guy, serving enlightenment while we plot our next massacre. The ritual drags on, the kettles hum a low pulse, and you catch the master's glance, brief, piercing, as if he sees through your warrior's mask. Your sword rests at your side, useless against the tension in this room. The other samurai shift, their impatience a silent blade at the master's throat. Yet he continues, whisking, pouring, bowing. This is the tea ceremony's cruel heart, a host who must be flawless while his guests nurse their demons. It's absurd, this man risking shame for a cup of tea while the world burns outside. Yet you bow, cup empty, and wonder if his precision is the only thing keeping chaos at bay. Like, share, tell us. What's the heaviest burden you've carried for someone else's peace? You kneel in the tea room, the silence so thick it chokes you, heavier than the armour you left at the door. No one speaks. Words are forbidden here. A rule as ironclad as a battlefield command. The tea-master's whisk scrapes softly. The kettle hums like a distant storm. And these sounds are your only shield against the chaos clawing at your mind. Your sword rests beside you, useless in this battle against stillness, where a single cough could shatter the ritual like glass. This isn't peace. It's a medieval mute button, and you're one wrong breath from screwing it up. The other samurai are statues, their faces carved from stone, but you see their eyes dart, haunted by wars they can't voice. One, a wiry man with a burned hand, clenches his cup so tightly you expect it to crack. You've watched him gut enemies without flinching, yet here, silence is his enemy, stripping him bare. The tea-master moves with glacial calm, pouring water with a precision that mocks your trembling hands. They say silence is Zen's armour, protecting you from the world's noise, but it feels like a noose, tightening with every second. Congrats, warrior. Your big bad sword can't slice through this. The lantern's glow flickers, casting shadows that slither across the walls, and you swear they mimic the men you've killed, their screams echoing in your skull. You try to focus on the kettle's hum, but it's a cruel trick, amplifying every thought you've buried, your brother's death, the village you burned, the blood that stains your soul. The silence isn't empty, it's a mirror, forcing you to face what you've done. This is no ASMR chill session, it's a 14th century horror show, where the monster is you. Your breath catches, and the master's eyes snap to you sharp as a blade. Nice job, almost breaking the sacred quiet. You sip the tea, its heat scalding your lips, a punishment for daring to exist in this hushed sanctuary. The others drink too, their silence louder than war cries, each man wrestling his own ghosts. The master watches, unyielding, as if he knows the weight of your sins. Outside, the wind howls, carrying the faint clash of steel, a reminder that this stillness is a lie. Your sword's hilt digs into your side, a cold comfort, but it can't protect you from this enemy, yourself. The silence presses harder, and you wonder if Zen is just a fancy word for torture. The ritual drags on, the master's hands steady, his calm a rebuke to your racing heart. You set the cup down, silent as death, and bow, your forehead grazing the mat. The others follow, their movements stiff, as if silence has rusted their joints. This is the tea ceremony's brutal gift, a quiet that strips you raw, forcing you to listen to what you'd rather forget. It's absurd kneeling here, gagged by tradition while the world bleeds outside. Yet you stay, hoping this armour of silence can hold you together, if only for a moment. Like, share. Tell us, what's the loudest silence you've ever faced? The tea-master hands you the cup, its rough ceramic warm as a living thing, and you stare into its green depths, froth swirling like a storm. You sip, and the bitterness hits like a blade, sharp and unforgiving, cutting through the lies you tell yourself. This isn't just tea, it's truth, distilled into a scalding gulp that tastes of earth and regret. They say the tea ceremony reveals what you hide, that Zen strips you to your bones. You're a samurai, a killer, yet this drink makes you flinch, as if it knows every life you've taken. The room's a dim cage, the air heavy with steam and secrets. The other samurai sip in silence, their faces tight, as if the tea's burned their souls too. One, a broad-shouldered man with a scarred lip, grimaces, his eyes distant, lost in some private hell. You've seen him laugh over sake, but here, the tea's truth is his judge. The master watches, his hands folded, his calm a silent dare to face what the tea reveals. This isn't a drink, it's a medieval lie detector, and you're failing the test. The bitterness lingers, like grave dirt on your tongue, and you wonder if this is what death tastes like. You swallow again, and the tea's heat sears your throat, dragging memories to the surface. Your father's last words, the village you couldn't save, the blood you spilled to prove your worth. Your hands shake, the cup rattling softly, and the master's gaze pins you like a spear. They say the tea's taste is a mirror, reflecting your soul's weight, and yours is heavy, sinking like a stone. You try to focus on the ritual, the cup's slow turn, but the tea's truth is relentless, whispering your failures. Nice try, samurai. Hiding from yourself in a teacup doesn't work. The others drink, their silence a shared confession. The young samurai beside you, his face unmarred by war, stares into his cup like it's a void. He's new to killing, but the tea doesn't care. It finds his wounds, fresh and raw. Outside, a crow's caw slices the air sharp as a warning, and you flinch, nearly spilling. The master's eyes narrow, but he says nothing, his silence louder than any rebuke. The tea's bitterness clings to your lips, a reminder that peace is a lie when your hands are stained red. The ritual continues, the master pouring with a grace that mocks your turmoil. You set the cup down, careful not to clink, and bow, your sword scraping the mat like a guilty conscience. The tea's truth stays with you, a weight you can't shed, as if the drink itself has judged you unworthy. This is the tea ceremony's cruel alchemy, a sip that forces you to taste your own mortality, your own sins. It's absurd seeking enlightenment in a cup while war waits outside, yet here you are, hoping one more sip might cleanse you. Like, share, tell us, what's the bitterest truth you've had to swallow? The tea room's silence wraps you like a shroud, but a distant shout pierces it, a war cry, raw and jagged, from the world beyond these flimsy walls. You grip the ceramic cup, its warmth mocking the ice in your veins, as the tea master pours with infuriating calm. Your sword lies beside you, its weight a siren call, urging you to rise, to fight, but the ritual demands you stay, kneeling like a fool chasing peace. The kettle hums, oblivious, while outside the clatter of armour grows louder, a drumbeat of death creeping closer. This isn't Zen, it's a medieval Wi-Fi lag trapping you between serenity and slaughter. The other samurai tense, their hands twitching toward blades they can't draw in this cramped space. One, a gaunt man with eyes like burned-out coals, freezes mid-sip, tea trembling in his cup. You've seen him cleave a man's arm in battle, yet here he's paralysed by the sound of approaching war. The tea master's whisk moves, steady as a heartbeat, churning froth with a precision that feels like defiance or denial. They say the ceremony is a sanctuary, a bubble of stillness, but the screams outside beg to differ. Nice try, Zen masters. Hard to meditate when death's knocking. A horse's whinny cuts the air, close now, and your pulse spikes, your fingers tightening on the cup until your knuckles ache. The tea's steam curls upward, a ghost fleeing the scene, and you swear it smells of blood, as if the battlefield has seeped into the room. You sip, the bitterness sharp, grounding you for a moment, but the shouts grow clearer. Orders, curses, the unmistakable thud of bodies hitting earth. The master's eyes meet yours, unyielding, as if he expects you to ignore the chaos, to find meaning in this scalding drink. It's like trying to focus on a mindfulness app while your house burns down. The others shift, their silence cracking under the strain. The young samurai beside you, his face pale as moonlight, stares at the shoji screen as if expecting it to burst open. He's new to war, his hands unscarred, but the fear in his eyes is ancient. The master pours again. The waters gurgle, a cruel mockery of the blood spilling outside. You wonder if this is the ceremony's true test, to sit, to sip while the world unravels. Your sword's hilt digs into your side, a reminder of the role you play when this ritual ends. War doesn't care about your tea break. You set the cup down, silent, precise, and bow, though your hands itch to grab your blade. The master nods, his calm a silent rebuke to your racing heart. The shouts fade, for now, but the air's heavier, thick with the promise of violence. This is the tea ceremony's brutal irony, a fleeting pause in a world that never stops bleeding, where peace is a lie you tell yourself between kills. It's absurd sipping tea while war hammers at the door, yet here you are, pretending one cup can hold the chaos at bay. Like, share, tell us. What's the closest you've come to peace when the world's screaming? You tilt the cup, the last drop of tea sliding down its rough ceramic curve, leaving only a faint green stain. The bowl is empty now, a hollow shell in your hands, mirroring the stillness that settles in the tea room. The master kneels, silent, his work done, while the kettle's hum fades to a whisper, like a song you can't quite recall. Your sword rests beside you, its weight a cold truth, but for this moment, the world shrinks to this empty bowl, this fragile pause. It's not peace, it's a glitch in time, a 14th century pause button before war resumes. The other samurai set their cups down, their movements slow, as if reluctant to break the spell. One, a grizzled warrior with a notched ear, stares into his empty bowl, his face unreadable, but his hands tremble, betraying the weight of what's lost. You've seen him laugh through bloodshed, yet here, the absence of tea seems to unravel him. The master watches, his eyes soft but piercing, as if he sees the voids you all carry. Grief, guilt, the lives you've ended. This isn't just a ritual, it's a medieval confessional, where an empty cup forces you to face what's left of you. The room's dim light flickers, shadows pooling like ink on the tatami. You turn the bowl, as taught, its imperfections rough under your fingers, and wonder if it's meant to mock your own flaws. The tea's bitterness lingers on your tongue, a ghost of truth you can't spit out. Your brother's grave, the village you failed, the blood that clings to your soul. The empty bowl feels heavier than your sword, as if it holds every choice you regret. Nice job, samurai. Drinking your way to enlightenment only to find a mirror at the bottom. Outside, the wind stirs, carrying the faint clank of armour, a reminder that this stillness is borrowed. The young samurai beside you, his face taut, clutches his empty bowl like a talisman, his eyes searching for something the tea couldn't give. He's new to war, but the void in his cup is old, etched with fears he can't name. The master folds his hands, his calm a silent judgment, and you realise the empty bowl is the ceremony's heart, a moment to confront what you lack, what you've destroyed. Your fingers tighten, but there's nothing left to hold. You set the bowl down, careful not to clink, and bow, your forehead grazing the mat. The others follow, their silence louder than the battles waiting outside. The master's gaze lingers, as if he knows this pause won't save you, won't erase the blood on your hands. This is the tea ceremony's final cut, an empty bowl that forces you to see yourself, stripped of pretense with nothing to hide behind. It's absurd seeking meaning in a cup's void while the world burns, yet here you are, hoping this emptiness is a start, not an end. Like, share, tell us, what's the emptiest moment you faced and what did it show you? The tea room's lantern gutters, casting shadows that writhe across the walls like spectres summoned by the kettle's hum. You kneel, sword at your side, its weight a cold reminder of the blood you've spilled. But here, the darkness seems to judge you more than any blade. The shadows twist, forming shapes, your fallen comrades, the enemies you cut down, their faces flickering in the dim light. The tea master paws, his hand steady, oblivious to the ghosts dancing in the gloom. This isn't a sanctuary, it's a haunted server room, medieval style, where every shadow hacks your soul. The air's thick with steam and tatami's musty scent pressing against your chest like a warning. The other samurai sit rigid, their eyes darting to the walls, as if they see their own demons in the shifting dark. One, a stocky warrior with a jagged scar across his cheek, grips his cup, his knuckles pale as if the shadows might drag him away. You've watched him storm battlefields fearless, yet here, the tea room's darkness unnerves him. The master's whisk scrapes softly, a rhythm that should soothe, but it feels like a countdown to judgment. Nice try, Zen. Your shadows are worse than war's chaos. You lift the cup, its warmth a fleeting comfort, but the tea's steam blends with the gloom, curling like spirits escaping a grave. They say the tea ceremony strips you bare, that its silence invites truth, but these shadows are truths you'd rather bury. Your sisters scream, the village you raised, the lives you traded for honour. The lantern flickers again, and a shadow lunges, sharp as a blade, making you flinch. The master's eyes snap to you, his gaze a silent rebuke, and you wonder if he sees the ghosts too, or if he's just better at ignoring them. This is no mindfulness retreat. It's a 14th century horror flick, and you're the prey. The tea's bitterness stings, grounding you, but the shadows keep moving, whispering sins you can't outrun. The young samurai beside you, his face smooth but eyes hollow, stares at the wall, his breath shallow. He's new to war, but the darkness doesn't care. It paints his fears as vividly as yours. Outside, a wolf howls, its cry slicing through the room's hush, and you nearly drop the cup. The master continues, unperturbed, his calm a mockery of your racing heart. Your sword's useless here, where the enemy is the dark you carry inside. You set the cup down, silent, and bow, the shadows pooling around you like spilled ink. The others follow, their faces taut, as if the darkness has carved them anew. This is the tea ceremony's cruel trick, a room where shadows become mirrors, forcing you to face what you've done under the guise of peace. It's absurd seeking stillness while ghosts dance on the walls, yet here you are, hoping one sip can banish the dark. Like, share, tell us. What's the scariest shadow you've seen in your own reflection? The Tea Master's bamboo whisk moves like a sword in a duel, each flicker strike churning the tea into a frothy green storm. You kneel, mesmerized, your sword heavy at your hip, its killing edge useless in this delicate battle. The whisk's rhythm, sharp, precise, feels alive, a dance that holds the room's fragile piece together. They say a tea master's whisk is his soul, that each stroke weaves harmony from chaos, but one wrong twist, and the froth collapses, shaming him before warriors like you. This isn't a ritual. It's a medieval choreography app, with stakes higher than your last fight. The room's air clings, heavy with steam and expectation. The kettles hum a low pulse beneath the whisk's soft scrape. The other samurai watch, their silence await, their eyes tracking every move like hawks. One, a lean veteran with a burned hand, leans forward, as if the whisk's dance could teach him how to survive tomorrow's war. You've seen him behead foes with a single stroke, yet here he's captivated by a tool that weighs less than a dagger. The master's hands blur, the whisk a whirlwind, and you wonder if this precision is what keeps the world from unravelling. Nice try, samurai. Your blade's no match for this kind of fight. You lift the cup, its warmth seeping into your palms, but your eyes stay on the whisk, its bamboo tines worn smooth by years of battles with tea, the froth swirls perfect, a testament to the master's skill, but you know the cost. One slip and the ritual's ruined, the harmony shattered. Your own hands, scarred from gripping swords, feel clumsy, unworthy of this elegance. The tea's steam stings your eyes and you blink, catching a memory. Your mother's hands, weaving cloth, steady where yours shake. This dance isn't just tea, it's a mirror, showing you what you lack. The tea's bitterness hits, sharp as a slap, grounding you. The master pauses, the whisk still, and the room holds its breath, as if the dance's end signals something greater. Fate, death, or just another sip. Outside, a crow's caw slices the silence, and you flinch, your sword's hilt jabbing your side. The young samurai beside you, his face pale, stares at the master's hands, as if the whisk could rewrite his future. The master resumes, pouring water with a grace that mocks your clumsiness, and you realise his dance is a defiance of the chaos you bring. Your kills, your wars, they're nothing to this fragile art. You set the cup down, careful, silent, and bow, the whisk's rhythm echoing in your skull. The others follow, their movements stiff, as if the dance has bewitched them too. This is the tea ceremony's strange magic, a whisk that commands warriors, weaving peace from a warrior's world of blood. It's absurd kneeling here, awed by a bamboo stick while death waits outside, yet here you are, hoping its dance can steady your soul. Like, share, tell us. What's the strangest thing you've seen move with purpose? You hold the teacup, its warmth a faint pulse against your scarred palms, but your eyes are lost in the steam, curling like ghosts from a past you can't outrun. The tea room's silence presses down, heavy as the guilt you carry. Every village burned, every life ended by your blade, every choice that made you a samurai but unmade the man. The tea master kneels, his whisk a soft rhythm, but it can't drown out the screams echoing in your skull. They say the tea ceremony is a mirror, reflecting your soul's weight, and yours is sinking, pulling you into regret's cold depths. This isn't peace, it's a 14th century therapy session, and you're failing the vibe check. The other samurai sit, their faces carved from shadow, but you see their hands tremble, cups rattling like confessions. One, a hulking warrior with a missing finger, stares into his tea, his eyes glassy, as if he sees the same ghosts you do. You've watched him slaughter without blinking, yet here, the ritual strips him raw, his regret as palpable as yours. The master paws, his movements precise, but the tea's steam smells of ash, like the fires you set to prove your loyalty. Nice try, Zen masters. Sipping tea won't erase the blood you've spilled or the homes you've turned to dust. You sip, the bitterness clawing your throat, and a memory surfaces. Your sister's laughter, silenced by war, a promise to protect her broken under your own sword. Your chest tightens, the cup shaking in your grip, and you half expect the master to scold you for disturbing the ritual's calm. Instead, his eyes meet yours, soft but unyielding, as if he knows the weight of your sins. The tea's truth is merciless, dragging up regrets you buried in battle's chaos. Every honourable kill, every night you chose duty over humanity. This is no mindfulness app. It's a medieval guilt trip coded to break you. The young samurai beside you, his face unscarred but eyes old, sips slowly, his hands steady but his breath uneven. He's new to war, but regret doesn't care about experience. It finds him, just as it finds you. Outside, the wind carries a distant war cry, a reminder that this pause is temporary, that your blade will sing again. The master's whisk slows, the froth perfect, but it's a lie. Nothing can smooth the jagged edges of what you've done. Your sword's weight tugs at your side, a partner in your crimes, useless against this enemy called memory. You set the cup down, silent, and bow, your forehead grazing the tatami, as if submission could erase the past. The others follow, their silence a shared mourning, each man wrestling his own regrets. This is the tea ceremony's brutal gift, a moment to face the man you might have been, if only you'd chosen differently. It's absurd seeking absolution in a cup while war waits outside, yet here you are, hoping one sip can lighten your soul's burden. Like, share, tell us. What's the regret that haunts you when the world goes quiet? You kneel in the tea room, a guest among killers, your sword a silent judge at your side. The tea master offers you the cup, its ceramic rough as truth, and you realise your role here isn't just to sip, it's to surrender, to play your part in this delicate dance of Zen. Every move is scripted. Turn the cup twice, sip precisely, bow low, or risk shattering the ritual's fragile harmony. They say a guest's duty is to honour the host, to mirror his precision, but one clumsy gesture, and you're the barbarian in this sacred game. This isn't a tea party, it's a medieval etiquette app, and you're one fumble from crashing it. The room's air is thick, steam mingling with the scent of tatami, pressing against your chest like a command. The other samurai, your fellow guests, hold their cups with practiced care, but their eyes betray them. Tense, wary, as if the tea itself might betray their flaws. One, a wiry warrior with a scarred neck, turns his cup too fast and the master's glance cuts like a blade. You've seen him charge into battle fearless, yet here he's bound by rules sharper than steel. The master paws, his calm a silent order. Play your role, or shame us all. Nice try, samurai. Your war heroics don't mean squat in this room. You turn the cup, fingers clumsy from years of gripping swords, and sip. The tea's bitterness a jolt that steadies you. The ritual demands you focus on the cup's weight, the froth swirl, the master's unyielding gaze, but your mind snags on yesterday's bloodshed, the lives you ended. As a guest, you're meant to embody gratitude, to receive the tea as a gift of peace, but peace feels like a lie when your hands are stained red. The master watches, his eyes piercing, and you wonder if he sees your failure to fully submit, to be the guest this ceremony demands. The young samurai beside you, his hands unscarred, sips with exaggerated care, his face tight with effort to get it right. He's new to war, but the guest's role is no easier for him. Every gesture a test, every sip a judgment. Outside, a horse's snort breaks the silence, a reminder of the chaos waiting beyond these walls. The master's whisk moves, a soft rhythm, but it feels like a clock ticking down your time in this fleeting sanctuary. Your sword's hilt digs into your side, a reminder of the role you'll resume when this ritual ends. You set the cup down, silent, precise, and bow, your role as guest fulfilled, for now. The others follow, their movements stiff, as if the weight of their own roles presses them down. This is the tea ceremony's strange demand. A guest who must be flawless, a warrior who must be humble, all for a sip of tea that can't undo your sins. It's absurd playing this part while war looms outside. Yet here you are, hoping your performance earns you a moment's grace. Like, share, tell us. What's the hardest role you've had to play under pressure? The tea master lifts a bamboo ladle, its worn curve gleaming like a relic, and you, a samurai kneeling with your sword at your side, can't look away. This isn't just a tool, it's a weapon of precision, wielded with the same deadly focus you bring to a katana's swing. The tea room's air hums with steam and reverence. Every object, the whisk, the cloth, the iron kettle, a sacred soldier in this ritual war against chaos. They say the tea's tools are extensions of the master's soul, each polished to perfection, yet one slip, a misaimed pour, a dropped whisk, and the ceremony crumbles, exposing human failure. This isn't a kitchen, it's a medieval armoury, where bamboo cuts deeper than steel. The lantern's dim glow catches the ladle's edge, and you notice its scars, nicks from years of service, battles fought over froth and steam. The other samurai watch, their silence a blade, their eyes tracking the master's hands like enemies on a battlefield. One, a grizzled warrior with a notched ear, shifts, his hand brushing his sword, as if the tool's precision reminds him of his own kills. You've seen him carve through foes, yet here he's humbled by a whisk's delicate dance. The master dips the ladle, water arcing like a crescent moon, and you feel the weight of each tool's purpose, harmony, balance, a lie you chase with every sip. Nice try, samurai. Your blade's no match for a ladle's discipline. You're handed the cup, its ceramic rough as truth, and you marvel at the tools that birthed it. The whisk's frenzy, the kettle's fire, the cloth's silent folds. The tea's froth swirls, a testament to their precision, but your hands, scarred from war, feel clumsy, unworthy. The steam smells of earth, sharp and alive, and you sip, the bitterness a jolt that drags up memories. Your father's forge, the clang of steel, the tools you once wielded before blood became your trade. The master adjusts the kettle, his movements a silent sermon, and you wonder if these tools are judging you, their perfection mocking your flaws. The young samurai beside you, his face unmarred, stares at the whisk, its tines worn thin, as if it holds answers to the wars he'll face. Outside, a horse's hoofbeats echo, a reminder that these tools can't stop the bloodshed waiting. The master's cloth wipes the ladle, a ritual cleansing, and you envy its purity. Your hands stained with death can't be wiped clean. The tea's heat sears your lips and you flinch, nearly spilling, earning a glance from the master sharp as a shuriken. Congrats, warrior, rattled by a cup while wielding a sword that's felled dozens. You set the cup down, silent, and bow, the tool's presence lingering like a challenge. The others follow, their movements stiff, as if the ladle and whisk have outranked them. This is the tea ceremony's strange alchemy. Tools that command warriors, forging peace from chaos with a precision you'll never master. It's absurd kneeling before a bamboo ladle while war rages outside, yet here you are, hoping its discipline can steady your soul. Like, share, tell us, what's the simplest tool that's ever humbled you? The tea master sets the whisk aside, its dance done, and the tea room falls into a silence so deep it feels like drowning. Your cup is empty, its ceramic cool now, a hollow relic of the peace you chased. The kettle's hum fades, a dying breath, and the ritual's end hangs heavy, a door closing on this fragile sanctuary. You, a samurai with blood on your hands, feel the weight of your sword at your side, its call louder now, pulling you back to war. This isn't closure, it's a medieval app crashing, leaving you to face the chaos without a reset button. The other samurai shift, their faces taut, as if the ritual's end has stripped their armour. One, a lean veteran with a burned hand, stares at the tatami, his fingers twitching, as if grasping for the tea's fleeting calm. You've seen him charge into battle fearless, yet here, the silence of the ritual's close unnerves him, a reminder of what waits outside. The master folds his cloth, his movements deliberate, sealing the ceremony with a finality that feels like a verdict. They say the ritual's end is a return to the world, but for you, it's a sentence. Back to blood, back to death. Nice try, Zen. Your tea can't rewrite the ending. The lantern flickers, shadows pooling like ink, and you feel the room's walls exhale, releasing you from their grip. The tea's bitterness lingers, a ghost on your tongue, and you wonder if it was meant to change you. to make you more than a killer. Your hands, scarred and heavy, rest on your knees and you catch a memory. Your mother's garden, the piece you lost when you chose the sword. The master's eyes meet yours, soft but piercing, as if he knows this end is just another beginning, another war. This is no mindfulness retreat. It's a 14th century cliffhanger, and you're about to fall. The young samurai beside you, his eyes hollow, bows low, his movements jerky, as if the ritual's end has left him unmoored. He's new to war, but the weight of this moment ages him, his face carved with dread for what's next. Outside, a crow's caw slices the air, sharp as a blade, and you flinch, your sword's hilt jabbing your side. The master rises, signalling the end, and you follow, your armour creaking like a warning. The tea room feels smaller now, its walls closing in, as if reluctant to let you go back to the bloodshed. You bow one last time, the tatami rough under your forehead, and rise, the ritual's end a cold truth in your bones. The others stand, their silence louder than the battles waiting outside. This is the tea ceremony's final act, a fleeting pause that ends too soon, leaving you to carry its weight into a world of steel and screams. It's absurd chasing peace in a cup only to return to war, yet here you are, hoping the ritual's echo can steady your hand. Like, share, tell us, what's the hardest ending you've had to walk away from? You sit in the tea room, the cup warm in your hands, but it's the silence that grips you, a quiet so profound it feels like a blade at your throat. The tea's froth swirls, untouched, as the kettle's hum fades, leaving only this void, no clink of armour, no whisper of breath, just the tea's silence, demanding you listen. Your sword rests beside you, its weight a cruel joke in this space where steel means nothing. They say the ceremony's quiet is a path to Zen, a moment to shed your sins, but it's a trap, amplifying every regret you've buried. This isn't calm, it's a medieval mute button, and your demons are screaming in the static. The other samurai kneel, their faces shadowed, their cups held like shields against the stillness. One, a broad warrior with a scarred lip, stares into his tea, his jaw tight, as if the silence is choking him. You've seen him roar through battles, yet here he's silenced, his hands trembling like a child's. The tea master moves, his whisk a faint scrape, but even he can't fill this void, this pause that strips you bare. The tea's silence is a mirror, reflecting the blood on your hands, your friend's betrayal, the village you burned, the honour you sold for survival. Nice try, samurai. Your sword can't cut through this quiet. You sip, the tea's bitterness sharp, a jolt that should ground you, but the silence swallows it, leaving only your thoughts. The steam curls, faint as a ghost, and you swear it carries the scent of ash, a reminder of the lives you've ended. The lantern's glow flickers, and the walls seem to pulse, closing in, as if the tea itself demands confession. You try to focus on the cup's rough texture, but the silence is relentless, dragging up memories you've drowned in war. Your mother's face, the brother you failed. This is no ASMR dreamscape. It's a 14th century nightmare, coded to make you hear what you've ignored. The young samurai beside you, his eyes wide, sips too quickly, his breath a soft gasp that cuts the quiet like a blade. The master's glance silences him, sharp and cold, and you feel the weight of your own breath, held tight to avoid the same mistake. Outside, a wolf's howl pierces the air, faint but jarring, a reminder that this silence is borrowed, that war waits to reclaim you. Your sword's hilt presses against your side, useless here, where the tea's quiet is the true enemy, exposing cracks no armour can hide. You set the cup down, silent, and bow, the tatami rough under your palms. The others follow, their movements stiff, as if the silence has carved them hollow. This is the tea ceremony's strange power, a quiet that forces you to hear your soul's weight, to face the man you've become in the pause between sips. It's absurd seeking peace in a silence louder than war, yet here you are, hoping this moment can hold your pieces together, like, share, tell us. What's the silence that screamed the loudest in your life? The tea master's eyes lock onto you, unblinking, as he hands you the cup and you feel flayed, as if his gaze sees through your armor, your sword, your lies. You're a samurai, a killer carved from war, yet under his stare you're just a man, frail and flawed, clutching a ceramic bowl like a lifeline. The tea room's air is thick with steam, the kettles hum a low chant, but it's his gaze that pins you, relentless, demanding you meet the truth of this ritual. They say a tea master's eyes are Zen itself, judging without words, and you're failing the test. This isn't a ceremony, it's a medieval polygraph, and you're wired to its stare. The other samurai sip, their faces tight, each one shrinking under the master's silent scrutiny. One, a wiry warrior with a burned hand, fumbles his cup, a faint clink echoing like a sin, and the master's gaze shifts, cutting him down without a sound. You've seen him storm battlefields, yet here he's reduced to a guest who's failed his role. The master paws, his hands steady, but his eyes never waver, sweeping the room like a blade, exposing every crack in your warrior's mask. Nice try, samurai. Your kills don't impress the man who serves peace in a cup. You lift the cup, the tea's froth swirling, and sip, its bitterness sharp, but it's the master's gaze that burns, searing through your defences. You face death, stared down enemies, but this stare is worse. It sees the boy you were, the lives you took, the honour you traded for blood. The steam stings your eyes, and you blink, fighting the urge to look away, to hide from this man who wields no sword but cuts deeper. The tea's heat sears your lips, and a memory rises. Your father's disappointment, the village you couldn't save, the weight of a life you chose. This is no chill tea break, it's a 14th century interrogation, and the master's eyes are the judge. The young samurai beside you, his face pale, meets the master's gaze and flinches, his hands trembling as he turns his cup. He's new to war, but the stare doesn't spare him, stripping his bravado to reveal the fear beneath. Outside, a horse's snort breaks the silence, a faint echo of the chaos waiting, but the master's eyes don't falter, holding you all in their grip. Your sword rests at your side, useless against this silent assault, its weight a reminder of the role you'll resume when this ritual ends. You set the cup down, careful, silent, and bow, the master's gaze following you like a shadow. The others follow, their movements jerky as if his eyes have carved them anew. This is the tea ceremony's fierce heart, a master whose stare forces you to see yourself, to carry the weight of his judgment into a world of steel and blood. It's absurd kneeling under a gaze sharper than your blade, yet here you are, hoping one sip can earn his approval if not your own. Like Cher, tell us, who's looked at you and seen everything you hide? You hold the teacup, its warmth fading, but the ritual's echo lingers, a hum in your bones that drowns out the sword at your side. The tea room's silence is a living thing, wrapping you tight, and though the kettle's song has died, its resonance haunts, like a battlefield's cries after the fight. The tea's froth is gone, leaving a faint green stain, yet its bitterness clings to your tongue, a ghost of truths you can't unswallow. They say the ceremony's echo carries Zen's heart, a fleeting pulse of peace, but it feels like a taunt, mocking your blood-stained hands. This isn't closure, it's a medieval earworm, looping your sins on repeat. The other samurai kneel, their cups empty, their faces carved with the weight of the ritual's afterglow. One, a gaunt warrior with eyes like burned-out stars, stares at the tatami as if the echo might absolve him of the lives he's taken. You've seen him cleave through enemies, yet here, the tea's resonance unravels him, a reminder of what war can't silence. The tea master folds his whisk, his calm a silent anchor, but the echo of his movements, each pour, each stir, vibrates in the air, judging you all. Nice try, samurai. Your blade can't slice through a sound that knows your soul. You sip the last drop, the tea's bite sharp, and the echo amplifies, dragging up memories. Your brother's laugh, the village you burned, the honour you traded for survival. The steam's gone, but its scent lingers, earthy and raw, like the graves you've dug. The lantern flickers, shadows dancing, and you swear the echo shapes them, forming faces of those you've lost. The master's hands rest, but his presence fills the room, a conduit for this haunting resonance that won't let you escape. This is no ASMR lullaby. It's a 14th century ghost track coded to make you hear what you've buried. The young samurai beside you, his face pale, sets his cup down, his hands shaking as the echo hits him too. He's new to war, but the tea's resonance doesn't care. It finds his fears, his doubts, his fragile hope for redemption. Outside, a horse's whinny cuts the air, faint but sharp, a reminder that this echo won't follow you into battle,